Okay, let's go ahead and practice And I Love Her by John Lennon and Paul McCartney together. First we'll work on the melody. It's in 4/4 time, and you can see in 3 flats. We're in the key of E flat major, although there aren't a whole lot of E flat major chords in this tune. You could also maybe think of it partially in C minor. A lot of the chords also exist in C minor. So let's go ahead and look at that first melody. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and. What about fingerings for this one? It feels really comfortable to put 1, 2, and 3 right here on the F, G, and A flat, but then we're going to need to get up to the 5. When we get up to the 5 up here, we've kind of run out of fingers to get that E flat, so we're going to need to crawl over and get that next 2 pitches with 2 and 4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4. Remember the idea is we're trying to keep our thumbs off of the black pitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4. The next phrase, we can just come down from the 5 to the 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. The next phrase is the same as the first. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4. The next phrase is a little bit different, and we have a nice feeling of 4, 3, 2, and 1 here on the E flat, C, A flat, and G. But that leaves us running out of fingers to get the F, so we're going to have to cross over and maybe use the 3rd finger on the F. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Now we're going to jump down and get the C with our thumb, which allows us to go thumb, 2nd finger, thumb, and 5. This is kind of a stretch here for this melody, so thumb 2, thumb 5 is nice. So that last little phrase here, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Jump down and get 1, 2, 1, 5. So let's play that first phrase together, this first section together using the correct fingerings. We'll go ahead and put on the metronome at 80. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 5, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. 1, 2, 1, 5. And we'll try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. 1, 2, 1, 5. All right. Good. All right. The next section is much easier because really we can put all the notes in this second section pretty much under our hand right here. In that whole 8-measure phrase, the notes we need to be aware of are G, B flat, D, and F. So they're right here, 1, 2, 3, and 5. Now let's go ahead and play that second part using those fingers, keeping them right there in that position. Rhythmically, it's a little tricky, though. It starts on the and of 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, and 3, and. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and. 2, 3, 4. Now the next part with the C minor chord, it's on 2, 3, and an and. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and. The next phrase is exactly the same as the one we just played. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 4, 1, and 2. So let's go ahead and play that whole second section together now. There we go. 1 from the C minor chord, just after the second ending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4, 1, and 2. All right. Let's go ahead and play the whole melody together. Now it says DC al fine de, which means we're going to go back to the top of the tune and end it where it says fine, which is in the first ending. So let's play the entire melody together, right hand alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One. 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 First ending, back to the top. One. 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 Jump to the second ending. 2, 3. Second part. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Rest to measure. 1, 2. Back to the top. 1. 1. 1. 1. Okay, and there's our fine right there. Okay, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put on the click and the bass and play the chords, and you can play the melody along with me. So you play the melody in the right hand, and I'll take care of the rest. Okay, so here's our click. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Second ending, and the second part. Go back to the top. 3, 4. Hope that went well for you. Now we'll go ahead and look at the left-hand chords. How many different left-hand chords do we have here? It looks like we've got somewhere around maybe 6. We've got an F minor chord, a C minor chord, an A flat chord, a B flat chord, and an E flat chord, and a G minor chord. Well, most of these chords come from the scale of triads in E flat major. E flat major, we've got E flat, G, and B flat. F minor, F, A flat, and C. We do have a G minor chord later on in the second part, G, B flat, and D. We we have an A flat major chord, A flat, C, and E flat, a B flat major chord, B flat, D, and F, and then a C minor chord, C, E, and G flat. So go ahead and get comfortable with these chords in a variety of different octaves. You'll find that probably you're not going to be able to put your highest pitch much higher than this C here, because the melody is going to start to conflict with it if we get the melody much higher than this C. Let's try all of those chords one more time. E flat major, F minor, F, A flat, and C, G minor, I'm going to take this one down, G, B flat, and D, A flat major, A flat, C, and E flat, B flat major, B flat, D, and F, C minor, C, E flat, and G. In fact, there's only one chord from the scale of triads of E flat that doesn't appear, and that's D diminished. This is a good tune for practicing your scale of triads in E flat. Now, let's go ahead and work through this tune slowly. We'll put the metronome on at 80 again. Okay. Now we're going to try to do all these chords in root position first. Okay, so it's good practice to get these variety of triads in root position from one to the next. Okay, so I'll go ahead and play them with you. Here we go, one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to C minor. Back up to F minor. C minor. F minor. C minor. Let's go down to A flat. B flat. And E flat. Okay. Back to the top again. 3, 4. C minor. F minor. C minor. F minor. C minor. A flat. B flat. And E flat. Second ending. Now here's the second part. C minor. Down to G minor. C minor. G minor. C minor. G minor. And B flat. Okay. Rest. Back up to the top. 3, 4. C minor. F minor, C minor, F minor, C minor, A flat, B flat, E flat. All right, good. Okay, now for the most part, I'm using, say, 4, 2, and 1 on a lot of these chords. Every once in a while, if it feels right, I'll use 5, 3, and 1. I'm trying as much as I can to keep my thumb off the black notes, but occasionally, say for example down here on the A flat chord, I think I'm doing 4, 2, and 1. It just has to do with the position. It feels more comfortable to put my thumb up there because of the angle of my arm than it would be to say do 5, 3, and 2, or 5, 2, and 4, or 5, 3, and 2, something like that. This actually feels more comfortable because of the angle of my arm. Okay. Remember, basically, it's melodies you want to keep the thumb off the black note. The chords are okay, just as long as you don't have your hand at an unusual angle. This time, I'm going to go ahead and put on the click and the bass. I'll play the melody, and you play the chords. Okay. I'll give you a count off. Here we go. You play the chords. I'll play the melody. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. job. Now we can experiment with some inversions. Inversions are when you take a chord, and instead of having it be 1, 3, and 5, we could say take the bottom note and swing it up to the top. So we have 3, 5, and 1. Or we could take the bottom note again and swing it up to the top again. So we might have 5, 1, and 3, C, F, and A flat. This particular position looks a little high, so I might do something like this one, a little bit lower. Just so you know what these inversions are called, if you play a chord where the root is in the bass, that's called root position, 1, 3, and 5. Even if you spread it out in an unusual manner, this is still root position. As long as the root of the chord is in the bass, it's called root position. If I move it so where my third of my chord is in the bass, this is called first inversion, because we're inverting the chord, and this is the first time we're inverting it. So that's why we call it first inversion. Even if I were to spread the chord out like this, it would still be called first inversion because the third of the chord is in the bass. If we move to have the fifth of the chord in the bass, this is called second inversion. Second inversion is when we have the fifth in the bass. It's called second inversion because it's the second time we are inverting the chord. Second inversion has the fifth in the bass, even if we spread out the chord in a variety of different ways. So go ahead and experiment with each of these chords in different inversions. Here's F minor, root position, first inversion, and second inversion. How about C minor, root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Once again, I'm just basically trying to keep my fingers as parallel to the keys as possible. Let's try an A flat major triad. A flat, C, and E flat, first inversion, C, E flat, and A flat, and second inversion, E flat, A flat, and C. How about B flat major? B flat, D, and F, D, F, and B flat, and second inversion, F, B flat, and D. And finally, E flat major. E flat major, E flat, G, and B flat, first inversion, G, B flat, and E flat, and second inversion, B flat, E flat, and G. Now you'll find that it might be easier, oh, we did have one more chord, and that's G minor. How about G minor triad, G, B flat, and D, first inversion, B flat, D, and G, and second inversion, D, G, and B flat. Now you'll find that in playing this chord progression, you might find that it's easier, instead of going root position all the time, it's easier to find some inversions. For example, let's go to F minor. Now the next chord is C minor. Well, you can see that just by lowering these two pitches, E flat, G, and C, we get our C minor chord. So we can get a lot of harmony just out of a little bit of motion. All right, and that happens again. Now right here we want to go to an A flat major chord. Well, can you see that if you just take this second finger and move it up by a half step, we get an A flat major chord in 6/4 or in second inversion. Now going to the B flat, we can take this whole chord up a whole step. And finally, now the reason that you might watch out for this is you can see that now my melody is going to cross over my B flat major chord. So maybe I might opt to go to a different inversion, maybe to root position on the B flat. Here on my E flat, if I had B flat in root position, I could go E flat major in 6/4 inversion right here. B flat, D, and F is the B flat, and B flat, E flat, and G is my E flat. Let's try that together with those simple inversions. Put the metronome on at 80. Let's play it together. Invert the chords in the left hand. If you don't feel comfortable playing the right hand yet, that's okay. Just work on playing the left hand with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. First inversion, back to root. First inversion, back to root. First inversion, second inversion, root position, second. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, on the C minor part, the second half, there's a variety of ways we could do this. Let's try it this way. C minor triad, and just by moving, you can see by moving C, E flat, and G to D, G, and B flat, we get a G minor chord in second inversion. Just that little motion there, instead of this big motion of root to root. You could also do it this way, C minor to B flat, D, and G. In fact, let's do it that way. That feels even more comfortable. C, E flat, and G to B flat, D, and G. The main thing is you get comfortable with all the inversions and see how they can all go from one to another. But we're going to do this one, root position C minor to first inversion G minor. That happens several times. You can see that our final chord is B flat, and that's very easy to get to just by moving our thumb down from the G minor to the B flat major. So let's go through the C minor and G minor inversions. I'll play the melody and you play the left hand. I'll play the left hand with you. If you feel comfortable playing the right hand melody, great. If not, just work on the left hand now. Here we go, from the C minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Root position. Good. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, nice job. Okay, now what we'll do is go ahead and play this together with the metronome all the way through. Try to play the melody in your right and inversions in the chord. If you're not comfortable with the melody yet, that's okay. Just work on the inversions. Okay, so I'll put the bass track on and play the whole thing, and you can play along with me with those inversions we've just worked out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Time. Second ending. Second part. Back to the top. Nice job. Okay, now the other thing we can do is start to syncopate both the melody and the chords. Really syncopating the melody is just a matter of pushing some of these notes, especially a lot of these quarter notes, usually ahead by a beat by anticipating them. So for example, I can anticipate the first note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or I can anticipate the second note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or how about anticipating the third note? 3, 4, 1. Or I could even anticipate the first note of the second measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or any combination. 2, 3, 4, 1. So you got the idea of syncopating. Okay, so this time I'll go ahead and play the bass and the chords and the bass and the click, and you try anticipating or syncopating that melody a little bit. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Bridge. Back to the top. Okay, good job. Did you keep track of where we were there? Okay, the next thing we can do is rhythmically mess around with the chords in our left hand. So instead of just playing whole notes, we could play half notes or some syncopation, or you could get your left hand to match the syncopated rhythm of your right hand. That's a popular way to play as well. So we're just going to try syncopating the left hand. Here's what I might do. I'm just going to anticipate some chords, play on the ends of the beats sometimes. Let's see what it might sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get the idea. This time you go ahead and play the chords. I'll put on the bass track and the click and play the melody, and I'll syncopate it, and you play some syncopated chords in your left hand. Okay, here's our click, and you play the chords and I'll play the melody. 1, 2, 3. Back to the top. bridge. Top. All right. Good. Now you can go ahead and try to play the melody and the chords syncopated with the bass and the click. I'll go ahead and put both of them on for you, and I'll come in and play every once in a while just to keep track. Okay? So everything's on you now. Syncopated chords in the left, syncopated melody in the right, with the bass and the click. Here's the click. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Back around to the top. Second ending, and the bridge. Back around to the top. Good, nice job. Well, I hope that helped you get through And I Love Her a little bit easier. Keep practicing. You can go ahead and also watch the other video or ask your instructor to play it through once again for you. Keep practicing. I know it's going to sound great. Look forward to hearing you play it, and look forward to seeing you and hearing you at the next video.